And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Women of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're going to go through some comments that I thought was really good on a video that was published probably a month ago. Someone commented and had a lot to say about certain things in that video, and I thought, hey, why not make a video about it and answer them as we go through. I don't think this woman is a subscriber. But if she is, then she'll see this video and it'll probably explain a little bit more about what I feel about the certain things that she mentioned or what I think about them. So let's see here. So let's just read the comments and then we'll go from there. I agree with many things. This was, by the way, the video, How to Prioritize for a Life of Femininity. So go and watch it if you haven't. I agree with many things, but at 30-18, this is where you lost me. When you assume people need polygamy because of XYZ. Now, I don't really like the word polygamy because it, first of all, it implies wives. There's no wives in 3 in Love, by the way, right? Second of all, it also implies the old way of doing, of sharing, of several women sharing a man. And basically, in the old days, right, there's been some patriarchal ways. Basically, most societies have lived polygamy. 3 in Love combines patriarchy with feminism. It's absolutely amazing once you understand the principles. So I don't really like the wording polygamy as it is. All of your reasons are circumstantial or personality stuff and not about inherent female nature. Your understanding of masculinity and femininity is quite good. Thank you. But then you get caught up preaching about polygamy and the ideas get warped. Well, some reasons I heard you give for why you think monogamy doesn't work. Now let me just ask you this question as a viewer of this channel. Does monogamy work? Have you seen it work? Like, is it successful in anyone's lives? Or do you just hear about a lot of cheating going on, a lot of problems going on, a lot of men's emotional needs, hey, that are not being met or fulfilled? Sometimes these men are not speaking up about it, by the way. And also other times the mother, she's very often a superwoman. She has to take care of everything, this, that, and the other. Have you seen any relationships where it works? Not only at the end of their lives, that's taken them 40 years to get there, but like it literally works from the minute that they get into a relationship and then it continues beautifully and they're in love the entire time for the entire duration of their lives and they have passion, peace. No, not so much. I haven't seen that very often. And yeah, comment down below if you have and if you haven't, because I'd like to know. So these are the reasons that she heard me say of why it doesn't work, and then she gives her response about what she thinks. Okay, so this is what I say. She's going to view him as a failure. Her response, you state this like it's a fact when it isn't, without giving any reasoning for it. Many women feel more admiration for their man as time goes on. Time just reveals who the person truly is, whether good or bad. I'm not talking about whether good or bad. Like a man, by nature, is always going to fail. Like that's what life is. It's a bunch of massive amounts of failures. Like every single day, if you haven't noticed, there's failure. And what happens from failure? That's basically teaching us something so that, you know, it's bad judgment. What do I say? Success comes from good judgment. Good judgment comes from experience. Experience comes from bad judgment. Bad judgment is failure, right? So when you fail, you get experience. And very often when you start out in a relationship, there is, you don't have experience. And you don't know how it is to have kids. You don't know how to share your finances together with someone of the opposite gender. You don't know what's happening in the bedroom over a long period of time consistently until you're in it, right? So there's going to be failures the entire duration of those relationships until they figure it out. But it doesn't take 40 years to figure something out. If it takes 40 years, that means that they're failing repeatedly with the same things again and again and again and again and again and again. And there's a reason why they're failing continuously again and again and again and again. It's because monogamy by default doesn't work. If it worked, they would learn everything over the next, maybe let's say 10 years. They'd understand it if they actually try to learn it. And if you don't try to learn it, like man, it's hard work. And it wasn't designed to be hard work. At least that's what we teach on this channel. So anyway, many women feel more admiration for their man as time goes on. I tend to disagree on that one. Why? Because the man, okay, let's see, he actually improves a lot over time. That's great. Awesome. Yes. And then, interestingly enough, the woman, all of the traits that the man was attracted to in the beginning, very often they begin to kind of fall. But of course, she has her, who she is and her loyalty to him and how she takes care of the kids. And there's a lot of qualities and the depth that they have in their relationship that the man probably appreciates as well. So over time, they're going to connect better, hopefully, right? If there's not too much, insurmountable problems that it's impossible to make it happen. But of course, there are many women who feel more admiration for their man as time goes on, but very often it's also because the woman has to settle, because there are no other men that are interested in her once she gets past a certain age, because she's already had kids. There's a lot of, baggage. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of men, especially masculine men, are going for maybe younger women, right? And they don't want a 45-year-old divorced woman. So the 45-year-old woman who's in a marriage basically learns how to settle, and this is my life. So I might as well make the best of it. Then that's the time when the admiration begins to go up a little bit, because she sees that she actually needs this dude, no matter how much of a failure he is. So that's kind of what happens in monogamy for most women. Okay, so she needs to see other women attracted to her man in order to feel attraction herself. That's what I say. Her response, this is definitely not a female nature thing. Really? Maybe it could be true for some women with certain personality. There's nothing about personality, okay? It's like women are women and men are men. And women love that which is high value. That which is high value is that which is in high demand. So, she continues. Maybe young teenage girls who don't really know what they like yet, but are just trying to fit in with their peers. I definitely never felt this way, nor have I witnessed it as a pattern in other women. There are objective things that make a man attractive, so you may notice lots of women being attracted to the same man and assume it's because the women have a herd mentality, but actually the guy is just objectively attractive. Now, so obviously there's truth to what she says here, that, yeah, of course, like a man is objectively, attractive, and then women are going to be attracted to him. But the fact that many women are attracted to him, it massively elevates his value. And it massively elevates his scarcity. So that in itself also makes him even more attractive. Okay? And I'm not saying that that's the only thing, but it helps. It helps massively. Like, it's almost like, in my opinion, it's like 30, 40, maybe 50% of the attraction towards him. The other stuff is like confidence, his looks, and handsome, and blah, 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 and all, that. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I'm just saying that if a dude is kind of like not that handsome, he doesn't have that much money, but there's tons of women that are interested in him, it's going to increase his value no matter what. So I think it's interesting that she hasn't found that as a pattern yet. She is quite young, she mentions later. So she says that I say she's going to want to spend all her time with him. I'm talking about long-term committed relationships here. So she responds, not necessarily. Usually feminine women and masculine men live in separate spheres of life and different interests, hobbies, and friends. I've seen plenty of traditional relationships where couples spend their days doing different things, the typical homemaker breadwinner dynamic. It's not that hard to do. Really. Let's wait until the kids come along and have another talk about it. And that was all she wrote, actually. Well, to be honest with you, why do women want to spend all of their time with their men? And I'm not saying all of their time, because they don't, right? If I've said that, I'm basically over-exaggerating, because women are social creatures. And when she doesn't have someone with her, she's lonely. And also, if she has a lot of problems, which he caused, by the way, like kids, for example, or that that she needs to, whatever it is, most often it's kids. She needs him home, right? She needs his help. And if it's not kids, maybe she's just home alone after work and she's like, she doesn't have any friends to hang out with. She wants to hang out with him because it's her best friend. Very often in long-term relationships, they do become best friends. That's a problem, actually. I mean, it sounds all lovey-dovey wonderful, but it's not when it causes you to lose passion for each other. It causes you to lose the fire that was in there in the beginning. It causes you to have less of polarity in your relationship. That's bad. That's horrific. Because life is made up of passion. Life is not that fun without desire. Have you noticed that? So I'm just saying that a lot of the time that the man should have been spending being ambitious, being motivated, creating solutions for world problems, being on his purpose, working 70 to 80-hour work weeks, monogamy kind of makes it extremely difficult for him to do that. Because the woman doesn't like being with him less than 20% of her awake time. She wants him more than that. If she's working a full-time job, maybe it's enough, right? But if she's alone at home with the kids, 20%, she's going to be like, immediately at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock when he clocks out, she's like, come home now. You know what I mean? Because at least that's in a homemaker breadwinner situation. It's a bit different when they're neglecting their kids and putting them in school. So, next thing, he's going to want sex all the time. That's what I said. It's normal for females to want sex less frequently than males, but they still want it. Agreed. If she wants to do it once a week and he wants to do it every day, it's not hard to find a mid-ground. By the way, that's settling, isn't it? Right? Why would you want to compromise if both of you can get what you want? Right? Wouldn't it be amazing if we had a solution that suddenly solved everyone's problems? That's what 3 in Love, basically, that's our selling point. It's fantastic for the man, it's fantastic for the women, but who it's most fantastic for is for the kids, right? You don't write anything about the kids in here. No offense, but you got to understand that, okay, we're still talking about, their relationship here, though. So, she says, I don't see how this is a big problem. I've heard men complain about dead bedrooms, but never that they only have sex twice a week. Very often that's enough for guys. But finding the middle ground, what if the woman only wants once a month? Because that happens, actually, quite a lot. If you speak, do you hear a lot of, couples, especially married couples, sexual relationships? Do you ask thousands of couples how their sex life is? Because yes, of course, there's maybe 30, 40, 50% that have normal sex lives, which is 2 or 3 times a week. And then you've got a massive amount of people that are not having it at all. What's up with that? Are we going to find a solution to that? Because what if the woman wants to do it every 6 months? She's dying inside if that's what she wants, because she doesn't want to do it with him. But she would want to do it with someone else, but that would ruin the provision aspect, and it would ruin for the kids, and there's so many consequences to her sleeping around and blah, blah, blah. It creates a lot of problems. Women need sex as much as men do, if not even more, when the man is masculine, because when the man is masculine, he practices SR, which is semen retention, which causes him to amazingly manage to go without sex for an extremely long time. Like, I loved that time when Alexis was in the States, last year in 2019, and I had 130 days, beautiful days, where there was no sex, no porn, no nothing, no masturbation. It was beautiful. I loved it. I didn't need it at all. Do you know who needed it? Exactly. So, so monogamy is not a problem. That's what she says. The assumptions you make about monogamy are not guaranteed to happen at all. Well, so as you can see, and if you've checked out my channel properly and watched all my videos, there's a lot of good arguments for why it's very, very difficult. I basically replied to her saying, for most women, this information sounds new and strange, but will become obvious if you continue to listen to my videos. And then she responded, I'm marriage-oriented, single girl in mid-20s. But I don't think you should need someone's background to decide if what they're saying makes sense. What she said didn't make sense, actually, because I've been married for 11 years and I know hundreds, thousands of people who've been married and who are married, and I'm extremely interested in their stories and case studies. And I study this out on a daily basis and try to understand what is going on and trying to find a solution, discover the solution that makes it possible for everyone to be happy. So bottom line, she says, women are the gatekeepers of sex. Men are the gatekeepers of commitment. Okay, men want exclusive sex from women, and women want exclusive commitment from men. Men are sexually polygamous, and women are emotionally polygamous. Emotionally polygamous? How? Okay, so she states here that I come with facts that I call facts, and then give no reasoning for it. She now brings women are emotionally polygamous. What's her reasoning for it? I can't see it anywhere. And again, no offense to her, like, she comes with some really good points, but we need to be able to discuss this properly. And to be honest with you, I'd love to have a conversation with her live, So we should definitely. Actually, I asked her to do that, but she said no. Okay, so she continues. She hates it when maybe I was going to explain what she meant by women are emotionally polygamous. Me personally, I don't agree with that. Like, how are they emotionally polygamous? Women put all of their eggs in one basket. Like, they want this man. And then they're like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? That's basically what happens in the long run. Unless he's extremely good at rejecting her and making her, feel that she has less power than he does. Then she'll want him back. But other than that, like, women are quite monogamous, actually. That's their nature. So if they're polygamous, that means that they're masculine. Because masculinity, that is polygamous. Femininity, that's monogamous, towards the opposite gender. Okay, so she hates it when he checks out other girls. He hates it when she fantasizes about her exes or her boss. Both genders inherently desire exclusivity in some way, and monogamy is the trade-off where they both get what they want, except for the fact that they don't get what they want. If men knew what they get in marriage, they'd never get married. If I knew what I was gonna get in marriage, I'd never get married. That's as simple as that. Because it's a really bad raw deal. Actually, in many ways, for both genders, if they don't know male and female nature. And that's something I learned 5, 6, 7 years ago. I didn't know that before then. I was like, all marriage. I was telling everyone to get married. I was telling my brother to get married. I was telling this person to get married. I was like, get married, get married, get married. And I was like, that was the epitome of everything, family. Because I'm a family guy. Like, my highest value in life is family. So when I see, let's just make sure everything's working here. Looks like it. So when I see that things are not working, and how badly monogamy sucks for people, I'm like, we need to come up with a solution here. What is this? And that's what drove me to discover the principles and how it actually works. Of course, both genders desire exclusivity. Absolutely. I completely agree. But monogamy is a horrible trade-off because the woman is the one who gets the most problems from it. Because she needs someone else to help in the relationship, like in raising these kids. Because she's not designed to do it alone. She's not designed to be a superwoman, right? And so she needs the man, and the man was actually needed out there making money. And so she complains about not having enough resources. This happened to us a lot, where I'm like, but I want to build resources, but that means I need to be consistent and show up consistently over a long period of time in my businesses so that we can get the exponential growth curve. But you're wanting me at home all the time to help out with the kids, right? And that was what we agreed. She was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and I was going to, go out there and make the money. But suddenly we got the kids, and then it's like, now we got to take care of the kids instead of actually making money. So that becomes the massive trade-off, that we're going to be poor for a long period of time until the kids actually grow up. And poor, I mean, there's a lot of people who've made a lot of money, even though they have kids in their 30s and all that stuff. However, massive trade-off there, because it's the kids that get neglected since they have to go to school. If the kids didn't go to school, the woman wouldn't be able to handle it. And if she doesn't handle it, guess who she's going to call? Her husband. Oh my gosh. Okay, she continues. I've seen enough of your videos, as I said. Okay. I agree with a lot of femininity content, but I disagree with, she uses the word polygamy stuff. I don't find it strange. I just think it's based on many false assumptions. Well, obviously she has assumptions as well that might be false. It's worth noting that you are theorizing, have never actually practiced it. In practice, polygamy has always caused low quality of life. She's right, though. I have never practiced it. However, it's math. It's kind of like saying to the Wright brothers, dude, you're never gonna fly? What are you saying? Their father was like, if God wanted humans to fly, he would have given them wings, right? That's what the Wright brothers' father told them. Did they stop? No. They knew from math it must be possible to fly. And so they built the airplane. Right? Same thing with rockets. Elon Musk. Have we been to Mars? No, right? We've sent robots to Mars, I think. But he knows. And his scientists know. And also the astronauts know that it's math. It's principles. That if you add 2 + 2 is going to give this. And that's basically how we've discovered these principles about male and female nature. And beautifully enough, men and women beautifully complement each other once you understand all of their inner workings of their brains. And that produces a fantastic quality of life. Because she says here, it caused low quality of life, social instability, and oppression of women wherever it's implemented. And there are some unavoidable reasons for that. So, first of all, did they apply the principles that we teach here? Did they apply that there's only 3 women? Not 4, not 5, not 6, not 2. Always 3. There's very, very many good reasons for that. Did the man have a lot of money? Did he have a massively strong foundation when he started that relationship with these women? Okay. These women, were they completely unblamed? Did the man take all of the blame for everything that happens in those relationships? No, probably not. Men have been blaming women for millennia, right? And they still do. This is like the hardest thing for men to accept, is that Bro, it's all your fault, man. She cheated, your fault. She left you, your fault. Right? She's upset with you because of this, this, and this. Your fault, bro. You can't run away from it. Men have been blaming women forever. And so no wonder that it's caused low quality of life, because very often men expected women to do things for them without the man putting in any effort whatsoever. There has been times when men have done the right thing by women, but yeah, probably it was few and far between, because in the past women were extremely masculine, men were extremely feminine. Okay, they caused war, they fought with each other a lot, they got angry, they hurt their women, etc., etc. This, like, history is filled with crap. Okay, we're moving on to a better dawn, to a better era where we only allow men who are actually qualifying on certain things and make sure that they are honest, integral, and that they've been approved by a community, a massive community of other men of high value, that they're ready to take upon them this important responsibility. And to say that polygamy has caused low quality of life, again, I don't like the word polygamy, but to say that 3 in love would cause low quality of life, I don't think so. I don't see it at all. Actually, that would go against math. Because how is it a low quality of life if the women are free? They got time and money freedom. They don't have to have a lot of kids. 3 in love, we say 1 child per woman per 8 years. It's like maximum 3 kids per woman, if you ask me. Maybe they managed to get 4 in, right? But probably they're just going to be 2 or 3 kids per woman. Beautiful, amazing. Tons of resources, because the man have set up his financial foundation before they got started, so they never have to worry about money. So they simply enjoy life instead and focus on their kids and enjoy their company with each other. How could that be a low quality of life? Explain it to me. And the same thing with the man. Does it cause low quality of life for him? Not so much. If he's a masculine man, taking the blame for everything that's wrong, yeah, that's going to be tough. But he's a masculine man who's learned how to take the blame, take responsibility, and who's fired up outside of his brain for providing and protecting his family. I don't think it's a low quality of life. Social instability. The only reason social instability happens is because sometimes kings took 1,000 wives. Sometimes men took 7 wives. Sometimes, like, that causes instability. And very often the social instability is from men taking other people's wives, right? It's kind of like a man says, like, I have a wife, but I want your wife. And then that creates social instability. But in the system where a man only has 3 and he has 3 only, and once he has 3, he's not going to go and get any more. That creates stability, not instability. And he's never going to get any other man's woman. Do you understand what I mean? He's not going to go after the younger and younger girls that come up because he's like, oh, do you understand what I mean? 3 in love allows the man to be stable, take 3 women, and then that's it. For the rest of his life, that's his family. So I don't see any social instability there whatsoever. Oppression of women, really? Patriarchy, feminism, combined. Women get to have time and money freedom, get to blame the man continuously. What's not feminist about that? So yeah, so I see your claims as similar to the proponents of communism, who are always saying that wasn't the real communism in reference to all the failed communist societies. So I completely agree with her on the communism part, because communism is always done with force. That's the difference. Polygamy done with force is horrific. Basically selling your daughters off to be with the man that, because he paid us money. That's horrible. But 3 in love, you can't, that's not how it works. And also, it's completely voluntary. The women don't have to do it if they don't want to, and they get to choose their man. They also get to choose the other women. The man doesn't do that. So it's all voluntary based. There's nothing forced about that. So comparing 3 in love with the forced polygamy of the past is wrong. Comparing 3 in Love to communism is a completely warped idea, because communism is based on force. Right? So there's a huge separation there. So she continues, the reality is that the theory just doesn't work in practice. Have you seen it? You don't know. I could explain to you so many specific reasons why polygamy isn't good for women, but I think you might be too invested and attached to your viewpoints to care about the truth at this point. So like I said to her, you have some valid points, but to say that I'm too attached to my viewpoints to not care about the truth, that is simply false. The first and most important pillar of this movement is truth. My viewpoints is based on research from tens of thousands of case studies, so it's your viewpoints against mine. Too bad we can't do a recording together. Perhaps I should simply reply with the video, which I did today. So I hope that you got a lot out of this video. Of course, this is not going to be an easy path towards establishing 3 in Love community in the entire world, but that's my ambition. We're actually going to replace monogamy, believe it or not. 3 in Love will be the new way of doing things, not because of force, because we're not going to do that, but because of elevating the quality of men that are out there. That's my job, and to have them take all of the blame for what goes on. And then they, in turn, will provide amazing lifestyles for women all over. And you know what we're going to create? 100% of women and children are going to be provided for and protected by a man of high value. That's the vision. Which means that there's going to be no low-value men that receive women. There's going to be no players that sleep around with women. There's not going to be issues. There's not going to be poverty among women and children, because it's always taken care of by high-value men. That's way better than the government taking care of them, or low-value men kind of taking care of them and cheating on them and doing bad things to them and beating them up and all the crap that happens in the world. So, me personally, 3 in Love is for me. And for all of you guys who agree with this video, I just wanted to end real quick with the latest. Actually, I'm going to find it in here. For those of you guys that haven't checked out 3 in Love, _3 in Love on Instagram. This is basically where we explain beautifully 3 in Love here. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. Maybe I should make a video going through some of these posts because they're absolutely amazing. But let's just quickly go to my profile, because I just wanted to show you guys the last post that I made, because this is basically how I feel about the movement. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. Thank you, Mr. Gandhi. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Subscribe and like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.